This video will show how to create a display um, poster for our library display case using Adobe Photoshop. The first thing you want to do is open up Adobe Photoshop from your applications, then go to File, New, name your file. So I'm going to put in Small Library Display, and then set your width and your height. I do know my small library display window width would be 46 inches and the height would be 20 inches. I'm going to change my resolution to a higher number. It should allow me at around 150 resolution so that it is not as blurry. It's a clearer image of stronger with a stronger resolution. And then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Okay, so now I have my layer made here. And if I go to the T on the sidebar, and then I'm going to create my text box to put in text. And so I'm going to click and drag around the edges of this layer. And then I'm going to start to look at my font size up here. So I'm going to change it from 12 fonts. I'm going to start off with about 100 points here for the size. And I do have InDesign opened as well with some text here. But I'm actually just going to highlight this from Adobe InDesign, copy it, and then paste it in Photoshop. Okay, so now you can see it's not centered and it's not large enough. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to center the text, and I'm going to make my font size larger. And this is where you just really have to play around with the font size. 450 is too big. Let's try right around 400. And so now I like the size of my font. I'm going to go ahead and click outside of the box here, and you'll see I have this little arrow that appears. And now if I click and hold down, I can move this text to be centered down within this box. Okay, I am actually going to lower it to the lowest position I can within this layer, and the reason why I'm doing that is with our Canon printer, our plotter, the alignment of the paper is over to the far right, so I want to make sure that when I print it out, it's going to be centered on that paper. And even though it doesn't look centered here, when I actually print it out with my Canon, because I have a 18-inch roll on there, I'm sorry, 24-inch roll on there right now, that's aligned all the way over to the right, it actually will be centered. And there's one more thing I'd like to do. I'd like to change the color of the font. I'm going to change the color maybe to a dark green, kind of pick in here what color green I want, click OK. And then I actually will also change it from regular to bold. And I can see now when I change it to bold that I could actually make this text even larger. So let me change that to maybe 425. I'm going to go ahead and jump up and see if even a 450 will work. Yeah, that looks good. So if I click out of here, you can see your text. Now if I go to File, Save As, I'm going to actually save this as a Photoshop file on my desktop. I'm also going to save it as a JPEG file because our Canon plotter works really well with JPEGs. So I'm going to go ahead and save that as a JPEG onto my desktop. Click OK here. And now to actually print it, I would double click on that JPEG image